evening, Martin. My clock. I'm going on what my clock say. So um, everything's on my end. I think so. Let's see. We had a connection issue on YouTube. Went away, so hopefully we are okay on YouTube. Always wonder when you get that notification whether or not we've got a good signal or not. Chris from Ohio is on with us. Old School's on with us on YouTube. As always, questions, comments, I always sure try to catch whatever I can. Sometimes they get to scrolling pretty quick on me, but I sure try to catch whatever I can get to. So, like I said, I'm on Facebook and YouTube, so I'll keep an eye on both platforms as we roll along here and try to keep up with everybody. So, Old School's on with us from Canada. Glad you made it tonight. Glenn from Minnesota, one of our regulars, glad you made it back tonight. Glenn, Corky from Illinois. Don, your name's popping up. Great to see you guys back. And still amazes me that you come back every week, but we're having a great time. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed enough to come back and hang out with us. So hope everything is working on everybody else's end. Have not seen any more notifications on YouTube. So that always spooks me when that's the first thing that pops up is a connection issue. But maybe we're okay. Jerry from New Mexico. James from New Waverly, Texas. Kevin from Houston's on. Cassiano is on with us. Old School just found an Oilsm cam. Those are nice pieces. I don't have a ton of Oilsm stuff. That's good stuff to get a hold of. Not a lot of good Oilsm out there. Cruz from Colorado Springs just jumped on. So great group getting on with us right out of the gate tonight. Glad y'all made it back. And thanks for swinging back by to check out what we've got going on. Bobby just jumped on from Goodlettsville. Chris is on with us on YouTube. Mitchell from Surfside Beach in Texas is on. Joe from Missouri. Great group jumping on with us tonight. Hopefully we'll have some fun. As always, if you got input, questions, comments, maybe you can help answer somebody's question, be sure to throw it up there. I'll sure try to get to it. Russ is on from Rusty's Muscle. Scott from Iowa. Lee in New York's on. Some regular ones getting on with us on YouTube as well. So we'll go ahead and get rolling into tonight. And I will keep an eye on both platforms for your comments. Joe from New York just jumped on as well. So anyway, what's going on? Some things are starting to happen. James from Baton Rouge. Thanks for all I'm doing. Thanks for being here, James. If you guys weren't here, it wouldn't do us any good. Dan from Defiance. Haven't seen Classic Ride Society yet, Old School. Victor, the Caprice Classic. I assume we're probably talking about the 92. There's a couple things I want to get fixed on that before I get it on the market. But if you want to give me a shout on it, I can always get you some more pictures of it and give you some of the details, after we get done and get you some more info on that. If you're interested in that car, neat old car and runs out great. So I was pretty excited when I stumbled onto that one. So anyway, Craig's on with us on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Cassiano, GMC four-door truck, hard to find. Depends on what you're looking for on that. I don't have any early crew cab stuff at all if you're looking for something early. But events, there's some event news going on right now that I thought we'd bring to you. Adam Spitfire jumped on with us. He's glad it's a little earlier because I believe, if I remember correctly, Adam was with us from England, the UK. So glad you made it back. Jerry, Ford truck half-ton cab. Give me just says 14. I don't know where for sure where you're at on that. If you'll give me a call after we get done and we can get into some more of the details. Did I rearrange the yard yet? Working on it, Old School. That's a major, major project to move that many cars around. But I've started on it. I've got 59 to 70 Pontiacs done. I'm putting 59 to 70 GM big car in one section. That's what I've been working on. Pontiac is done. Buick is done from 59 to 62 right now. So making a little bit of progress. Craig is from the UK as well. Glad you're here with us, Craig. Couple guys hanging out, staying up late to get on with us from the UK. David W. is on YouTube as well. Alan from Oregon. So can't believe you guys stayed Yep. Events. The Ark City, Kansas swap meet. That the inaugural one was last year. We did go to it. I did some video there. My friend Tim Stanger did some video there on his channel on Mr. Good Pliers, and not a bad swap meet for just starting out. They did contact me this year, or they contacted me this week to see if we were coming down again. And at this point, we are planning on it. Obviously, we know the Wichita swap meet was canceled this year because the venue could not guarantee them whether or not they were going to let enough people in to actually have an event. So what that obviously has done for Ark City, and I think what's going to do for Hutch is probably make, a lot of those people are going to go to there. As of this week, Ark City has almost doubled in vendor numbers from last year. So that's always good news that at least it's going to be happening. Glenn, 65 Chevy 4-door builder. I bought a lot of cars this week, but didn't buy one of those. 68 GTO rocker moldings, Larry, do not have anything there on that. So good news for the Ark City swap meet at MAD, Mid-America Dragway. Definitely plan on going down to it again this year. We'll bring you some video from there. That was one of the reasons they contacted me, was to do some more video down there about the event. They said they had almost 70 vendors last year, and they're well over 100 already at this point, and we're still a month out. So looking to hopefully easily double the size of that swap meet this year. So that's a great sign for them to keep that thing growing and building. Classic Ride Society did make it. Glad you made it tonight on YouTube. The swap meet we're talking about right now, Classic Ride Society, is in Ark City, Kansas, here in about a month. Middle of April, which is just south of Wichita, is where that one's located at. And not only is it a go, it looks like it's going strong. The other upcoming swap meet in Kansas, my buddy Robert Seaburns, who gets on here with us, that has the Hubcap Collector page, he notified me that they're supposed to make a decision tomorrow, the 15th, on the Lawrence, Kansas swap meet. The AACA Lawrence region puts that on, have put it on for years. Usually always been a pretty good swap meet. They did cancel it last year, and hopefully we will have an answer this week as to whether or not Lawrence is going to be a go this year. And I'm obviously keeping my fingers crossed that it is. So hated not being able to catch that one last year as well, but it's kind of what we were up against last year, obviously, on about everything. So not much we could do about it, but at least there is some hope on the horizon for some stuff happening. That's right. Yeah, Robert will keep his eyes out for us. So if I miss it, I know Robert will be on top of it, and he'll let us know for next week. So that's what we've got. That's what I've learned this week for event news. World of Wheels Kansas City's coming up in a couple weeks. From what it sounds like, that's still a go as well. And that's about what I know of in my area as far as what's happening. So now that we got a good group on here, if you're on Facebook, you want to throw a share out there to get your friends on with us, that would be great too. Maybe you got some buddies that want to jump on. And on YouTube, we are eligible for Super Chat as well now, which I'm still learning that too. But I got a notification that said I can do Super Chat. So whatever that's good for, that's available as well. I don't know if many of you guys caught it or not. We did some more stuff from the SRCA drag strip yesterday. I went out to the track, and Hank and I did a live from the tower and got everybody kind of up to speed as to where things are at there. I'll give you a little quick synopsis. You can always look it up both on the SRCA drag strip Facebook page or on the YouTube channel, because I did put a YouTube channel together for them as well. So that has been posted on both formats. The live we did yesterday. Craig, I'm from Kansas. I'm located in central Kansas is where I'm at. But the progress on the drag strip, and if you haven't been with us here before, the SRCA drag strip here in Great Bend, Kansas, which is where the NHRA held their very first national event in 1955. It's where the AHRA held their first national event in 1956. And we're getting a completely brand new drag strip. The entire racing surface from the water box, actually from the end of the staging lanes to the turnoff road, is going to be brand new concrete here very soon. Let's see. Oh, Robert brought another good point real quick. Robert brought up the two Springfield swap meets. The first one of those is May 21st and 22nd. I had forgotten about that one, Robert, also. So thanks for throwing that one up there. So if you've been watching the SRCA stuff we've been doing, we started at the finish line, or actually at the turnoff road, and poured backwards to start with. The reason they did that was to determine how they wanted to finish the concrete, so that when they actually got to the track, the actual racing surface, they would know how to finish the concrete. So they poured half the track going backwards from the turnoff road to the halfway point. Now we're back at the starting line, and they started basically right at the end of the staging lanes, and the new water boxes have been poured. The water boxes are actually a separate chunk that is poured with extra hard concrete, and they are designed to where they can be removed and replaced as they wear without having to disturb the rest of the track. So that's pretty exciting, and all that stuff is poured. So now basically they have to start from the front edge of the water box and head to the middle of the track to meet up to where they had stopped last time. They were actually able to pour into January this year, where the weather was cooperative. So, and with all the fine detailed work that they had to do to pour the water boxes separately and things like that all being done, basically we're in really good shape as long as the weather holds and we stay dry enough where they can just set up forms and pour it, and set up forms and pour it. And so they're still making good progress with that. Be sure to check out that video on the SRCA drag strip pages. And also we talked about some of the events coming in this year: Midwest Drag Racing Association with Pro Mods, obviously Rocky Mountain Race Week. So be sure to check that stuff out and keep up to date with what we've got going on there. Let's see, Evelyn, green and white 57 A120. I'd have to try to look it up and see which one we're talking about. I've got 2 or 3 A Series Internationals, so be best to give me a shout after we get done, and I can get some more details as to exactly which one you're talking about and everything you need on that truck. That's right, William. That's another good point. This track is going to continue. Like I said, you just posted your rest in peace, E-Town. Yeah, Englishtown is gone. A lot of these drag strips are disappearing. This drag strip is actually located at a city-owned. The city of Great Bend owns the complex, and it is an event complex. The drag strip is there. There's 3 big buildings for events that they held out there. There's a motocross track. There's a rodeo arena. This entire venue is set up as a city-owned event center. So that's a pretty cool deal that, they're investing in this track because it's going to be here for generations to come, hopefully. A couple more comments popping up. Tim made it with us. Glad you made it. Classic Ride Society picked up the flyer for the Hutch swap meet, which is also May 21st and 22nd. So that's going to conflict with the Springfield, Missouri swap meet, with the first Hutch one being the same weekend on there. So, Evelyn, I've got a couple of A Series by internationals. So yeah, give me a shout. Give me a list of what you need, and I'll see what I've got left on those trucks. So, but anyway, that's what's going on at the SRCA drag strip. Future, they have actually, as they've been running utilities, they're running utilities under where the track's going to be. Water, all that stuff has been run. With some additions for extra timers, extra places to put cameras, things like that. So going to be set up as good as any track in the country. What else is going on? Obviously, the Gator Nationals were this weekend in Florida, and NASCAR was there as well. I don't follow much NASCAR. I did look at a little bit of the NHRA stuff. So I had a bunch of friends that were down there. Obviously, my good buddy Scott Palmer was down there running. And had some other friends down there running Top Alcohol. James Stevens was there. My good buddy Dave Lau was there helping with an alcohol team. So I kind of paid a little bit of attention to that. It looks like that all went well. So hopefully racing is going to get back to normal this year as well, which is going to lead right into our next topic, which is kind of almost a scary one when you kind of look at it. I've seen a lot of this popping up this week on various Facebook pages and things that I'm on. I thought we would talk about it a little bit, Adam. No, they don't have high friction material in the brake to help slow down. They just have it's just a big wide area. We have so much concrete out here that we have plenty of shutdown. We've got more shutdown than almost any drag strip in the country, which is actually has opened up here that we hadn't even thought about, just because we have so much concrete to run on. So hopefully we're going to have some new information on a new event that we're going to hold here as well. Hopefully we'll have that announcement within the next week or two. But all this talk about motorsports is going to lead right into our next topic. And this is, like I said, I've seen this floating around Facebook quite a bit, so I looked into it a little bit. I went to SEMA's website, www.sema.org, to do a little bit of research on this, because this has obviously been something that car guys have been fighting for the last several years, and it looks like it may get worse. The RPM Act, and basically, I mean, obviously the emissions things with the EPA and California Air Board and everything has been a problem for years for car guys. The way they are wording stuff now, and this is directly off of the SEMA website, so you can go read this for yourself at any time. I just printed it off and highlighted some of this stuff just to when I really started seeing how important this was. And you can go in there and sign the petition that that's being sent to all the government representatives about how many people are against this. But basically, according to the EPA, with their new wording, street vehicles, cars, trucks, motorcycles cannot be converted to race cars, according to the EPA. The EPA has announced enforcement against high-performance parts, including superchargers, tuners, exhaust systems, and they are making this a top priority. Obviously, that's bad news for anybody that likes anything in the car world, because this could change. Even if you're just building a cruiser, but you wanted to modify it, they are trying to shut down as much of this as possible. So, and just like it said, even if you contracted Congress in the past, signed these petitions in the past, everybody needs to do it again. The RPM Act is, and this is what we want to this is what's trying to protect us, is the right to convert street vehicles into dedicated race cars. We're not even talking about street vehicles. They want to shut down specific race cars that aren't even being driven on the street. And this is in the action going after the manufacturers that make the stuff, to where to hopefully not even let it even be available to anybody anymore. The RPM Act would also confirm it would be legal to produce, market. The RPM Act reverses the EPA's interpretation that the Clean Air Act does not allow a motor vehicle designed for street use to be converted into a race car. That's the way the EPA wants it worded. So that's why it's so important to look into this, sign the petitions, and everybody needs to join together on this before they completely take over and try to shut down pretty much a good chunk of the entire hobby. See, and even California, which California is known for having strict laws, California does specifically exempt racing vehicles. EPA is trying to include racing vehicles, non-street legal, strictly for track use. They want all that shut down as well. So, going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but definitely not good news for gearheads in any means. So something to think about. Like I said, you can go to SEMA's website and read all this for yourself, and you can actually sign the petitions there and do a little more research. I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. I've seen so many things popping up about it that I wanted to see what kind of the actual fuss was. And the actual fuss is going, to the point where they're going to go after the manufacturers of the parts and try to shut them down. So that's the whole point, Adam. How's it affecting humanity if you put free-flowing exhaust on your car? EPA wants it all shut down, period. That sounds like what they're trying to do. That's right, Lance. It is scary times. So I encourage everyone, go to SEMA's website, www.sema.org, and do a little research on your own on this. But the fact that they're going after the manufacturers to completely shut them down from even making this stuff, much less letting anybody use it. And what are they going to do? Start showing up at racetracks and impounding vehicles, fining people. Who knows where it could go? That's right, Classic Ride Society. And just something else to try to get rid of internal combustion engines and make everybody go electric. Well, there again, just like we found out, the grid can't handle that much electricity either. The electrical grid is not set up to handle the amount of vehicles it would take to do that. So it's like I said, I just wanted to bring it up because I saw so much stuff pop up about it this week that I knew there had to be something to it that I needed to look into and bring up to everybody's attention. And hopefully, we all go there, look at it, do a little research, do a little homework. And it doesn't hurt if you know your representative or know how to contact your representative's office to make sure that they're aware of that this is a big deal. That there's a lot of people out there that that enjoy this. There's a lot of people out there that make their livelihoods at it, and if they shut it all down, I mean, there's probably not anybody on here with us that doesn't know somebody involved in the car world and how that something like this could affect their business, their job, things like that. So obviously, so they're trying to get a little carried away. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. It's a pretty serious topic and wanted to make everybody on here aware of it so that we can, hopefully try to have our voices heard as well as all the rest of our gearhead friends out there and not let the EPA completely take over this situation. Rico and Jess made it. Glad you guys made it tonight. So, in fact, some of this stuff, and I just got a glimpse of this the other day. I'll just throw it out there. I saw somewhere in California, they're banning people from even working on their own cars. There's only certain things that individuals are even going to be allowed to work on their own cars. I seen that a few days ago, and I was like, I mean, it's crazy as to what they're trying to take over and mandate. But that was pretty interesting too when they said there's only certain things you're going to be allowed to even do on your own car at your own house, because according to this, wherever, I don't remember if it was a city or a county or whatever in California, they were literally trying to outlaw you working on your own car. So Adam Spitfire, one of our friends from the UK, America produces 16% less electricity than it requires. So yeah, so how are we all going to go to electric vehicles? Like Classic Ride Society, call it out. He just put it right out there. We're just all going to have to be outlaws. And there might be some truth to that, because what's going to happen if they shut these manufacturers down? I mean, we're all gearheads, we're all hot rodders. We may be going back to the way they did it 50, 60 years ago, where you're taking parts off of other cars and adapting them and making them work. You got to remember that's where this hobby started at, was finding something and making it work. You got to look back in the 50s, which we'll get into a little bit of this with the magazine tonight, is hey, you worked with what you had. You look at when overhead valve V8s came out. That was how big of a step that was, and you had to have an Olds or a Caddy, because that was the first thing that came out with an overhead valve on a mass-produced vehicle. So by the mid-50s, if you had an Olds or a Caddy power plant in your Ford, you had something. And that's what will end up happening if they start shutting this down, because we're all gearheads. We're all, we'll make it work. So, yeah, you're right, Classic Ride Society. There's a bunch of us might be considered outlaws if they try to do that. That's right, Tim. It would put a lot of parts places out of work. It would put a lot of shops out of work. Mark made it. You're not too late. Glad you made it anyway. So, cars that I sell Cassiano. I am dual licensed in the state of Kansas, salvage and used vehicle. I can sell a door handle. I can sell a complete running driving vehicle. I'm legal to do whatever. I'm licensed, bonded, and insured in the state of Kansas to do either or. So I can sell complete vehicles. The only thing I can't sell is new vehicles on a certificate of origin from the manufacturer. Is the only thing I can't sell legally. So that's right, Robert. We all may look like a bunch of Mad Max cars running around. So Chris said many HOAs already prohibit you from working on your own car. I've never lived in an HOA, Chris. Don't ever plan on living in an HOA. So, but it seems to fit right along with the horror stories you hear about, a lot of them. Good idea, Adam. Adam's got a good plan. Let's do a protest at the EPA building where we all go out and do donuts in front of it. So, But like I said, it's something to think about, something that it was definitely important that we all needed to think about and be aware of, just in case. We don't want and get completely crazy to where we can't even have some of this stuff or be able to modify a car or work on a car. Randy just jumped on with us in Michigan. Glad you made it, Randy. Some other stuff coming up I was going to catch in the events, and I forgot. Next week, the auction circuit kicks back off. Obviously, we all know Barrett postponed their January sale, and it starts a week from now. Mecum is next weekend in Arizona as well. So Mecum, I believe, is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I think Barrett starts on Saturday, or Friday or Saturday, something like that. So going to have a lot of auction action coming up. There's going to be a lot of it, should be a lot of that televised as well, so we can keep our eyes peeled for some of that. We'll have some new auction news from next week. I've got some friends that are going to be out there at both events. I'll sure try to touch in base with those guys before Sunday night chat next week, so I get some updates from some guys that have some boots on the ground at the auction. We'll check out some results and see what's going on there. But might keep your eyes peeled, keep an eye on your television listings, because some of that stuff will be coming up starting towards the end of next week. We'll have some good auction coverage again. So let's see, a couple more comments popping up. 53 210s, Frost. Yes, I do have some 53 210s. I've got several 53 and 54 Chevys in stock. So when we get done, you can give me a call, go and get me the list of what you need for that stuff. That's true. Classic Ride side of the military would probably show up if you tried to do that, if you tried to do donuts at the EPA building. So okay, let's see. How about a cool magazine? Let's get into tonight's magazine, and then we'll get into some trivia, the raffle, and I bought a ton of cars last week, so we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about there as well. This week, we're going to check out a copy of Hot Rod. We haven't done any Hot Rods yet. I've got them all the way back into the early 50s. I don't have any of the late 40s stuff, but I thought we would check one of these out. A lot of the stuff we've been checking out is over the last few weeks have had, at the time, new vehicles in them, which was kind of cool to check out, the what's new for this year, looking back in time with what we know now. So, just like we just talked about back in the day when you worked with what you had, and maybe the EPA is going to force us back to that, but that's kind of what this magazine is going to tie into, and kind of ties into what we were just talking about as well. Tonight, we're going to look at a Hot Rod magazine from 1955. So we got a couple cool things in here we're going to check out. And just like we talked about on engine swaps right there in the middle of Pontiac V8 engine analysis, you got to remember Pontiac was still a flathead 8 in 1954. 1955 was when they finally got an overhead valve V8. So the Pontiac V8 was a pretty big deal in March of 1955. So let's check out what we've got in this issue, starting off with the article on the Pontiac V8. And it's titled Under the Chieftain's Bonnet. It has some really cool cutaway graphics of this engine, and shows some good pictures. Fairly lengthy article on this. Pontiac's new V8 engine loaded with mechanical innovations, possibilities, and lots of go. So there again, looking at it from a hot rodder standpoint, that look what you had for overhead valve V8s to work with. Obviously, Olds Cadillac came out in 49, Buick came out in 53, the 331 Hemi came out in 51. So there were not a lot of overhead valve V8s out there. Obviously, the small block Chevy came out in 55, just like this Pontiac engine did. So you had, it's crazy to think about, you had about 5 or 6 years worth of mass-produced overhead valve V8 engines available, and there just wasn't a lot of them out there to get. So a new V8 was a pretty big deal in 55. So kind of crazy to think about in today's world how different it was. But that's what, that's why that was big news. Another article they had was, and once again, in today's world, pickups are hot. They're crazy hot. That's right, Dan. Some people with some big collections and big money will throw a fit and cause some problems for the EPA. And that could be true too. And I hope there are. I hope there's some guys out there with deep pockets that do help support this hobby for all of us. Adam's going to bail off on us, so I understand completely. I know it's late there. Glad you made it for part of the chat tonight. Thanks for staying up long enough to hang out for a while. But obviously, pickups today are super hot. But over the years, they've kind of been overlooked. Well, they did cover some pickups in this 1955 hot rod. So I thought that was kind of neat that pickups were actually getting a little bit of love back in the day as well, even though not as common as they always had been. It was still neat to see some of them. And this headline kind of caught me off guard. A restored 40 Ford pickup in 1955. So I thought that was kind of interesting the way they titled that. The other one was a 37 Ford, and it was Cadillac powered. There again, not a lot of V8s out there. That one got a caddy stuck in it. So it was, there again, for its day, pretty big deal. Oh, what else we got cooking in here? Something else that I saw kind of interesting, and this was kind of a how-to article, which Hot Rod still does a lot of today. Although this was something a little bit different, and that's why it kind of stood out. The article is entitled "A Beautiful Beak." Bonneville fad spreads to dry lake and drags. And basically, it's about putting a dry lake nose, a pointed nose, like on your old Ford hot rod. Kind of the pointed nose. Obviously, if we look back at pictures of Bonneville from back in the day, it was kind of a streamlined aerodynamic nose that they added to this. And this article is really step-by-step with a ton of pictures. It actually shows them cutting up a hood, getting pieces, fabbing it together. And not only this, it says they started by removing the nose of a 40 Ford hood with a cutting torch. So that's where they started building it from. But a very in-depth article with a lot of very detailed pictures, which, there again, this was new technology, new ideas. There wasn't a lot of stuff out there. You didn't just order a nose. You literally had to build it. They walked you through it step by step in this article. So I thought that was really neat for something to be this detailed with this many pictures back in the mid-50s. So it goes through all the steps on how to do it and walks you through. So I thought that was a really neat article. You didn't see a ton of pictures, especially step-by-step pictures back in the day. So that's why that one really stood out. Now, something else that I noticed in this issue that I thought was really kind of cool, especially considering we talked about the SRCA drag strip. This was in March of 1955. The first national event was held here in Great Bend at the SRCA drag strip a few months after this here. I think it was in October at the end of the year, and I figured out my program. I've got an original one. But this issue of Hot Rod had the NHRA bulletin board in it for the spring of 1955. So I found that very interesting, that just knowing that, we had a lot of stuff going on at the drag strip, and that to see that they put their news right in here, knowing that at this time they were planning their trip to Great Bend for the first national event. And in fact, it says right in here, NHRA's 55 drag strip safari will have a busy time trying to make all the meetings and events they've been invited to attend during this year's national tour. They go on the road sometime in early spring, and that culminated here in Great Bend, Kansas, a little bit later that year. So lots of cool notes to read through. Obviously, we don't have time to go through all of them, but it was just interesting that the drag safari was about ready to hit the road when this came out, and knowing that culminated a few months later in that year here at Great Bend, Kansas, at the SRCA drag strip, that the project to replace is currently undergoing at the exact same facility. So kind of neat that stood out to me. Yeah, in that, because of that. One thing about Hot Rod Magazine that I did notice, compared to a lot of these other ones that we look at, And we'll get into, so we're going to start getting into some of the ads. Well, a lot of these other car magazines that we've been checking out obviously had new cars in them, which they're cool to us because today they're classics. We look back at the road tests and the advertising. Obviously, this was more of a hot rodder magazine. This didn't. I was really shocked at the lack of nice, big, color, full-page ads that we're used to seeing in a lot of these other magazines. Still a lot of cool ads, but not the nice, big, full-color ones that the car manufacturers put into a lot of these. The first one that we were going to catch was, I thought was really kind of neat. Bell helmets. Get full protection with the new Bell 500. $36.50. Take a look at it here. Kind of a neat ad of the open face helmet with goggles. And right below that, Chet Herbert cams. And even a dual exhaust system article. And that's what I found in this hot rod. Most of these were smaller ads, not full pages, you know, 8th page, 3rd page, quarter page, things like that is typically what I found in here. So kind of cool to see all this stuff advertised back in the day is, you know, and it was new technology, new things. What it looks like they're trying to shut down now. They want to outlaw. Another interesting ad that stood out, like there's tons of them in here. There's just no way to catch them all. Was a customizers ad from Eastern Auto Custom Accessories. Dual rear aerial kits, caddy headlight rims, and genuine Continental kits. So you can order your skirts, dual aerials, Continental kit, all kinds of cool stuff from the Eastern Auto Accessories company. Let's see, what else do we got to check out here? A couple more ads, and then we'll catch a few classifieds. They had classifieds in Hot Rod Magazine at the time as well, so we'll catch a couple of those. This one was another cool ad. And actually, there's several of them right here on this edge. You could order stroker kits for Fords and Mercs. You could order your cast aluminum club plaques and the surprise wholesale catalog. So these old magazines are kind of fragile, so I'm trying to be careful as I show you these guys this stuff. But a whole row of really cool ads over here showing the stroker kits, your aluminum club plaques, and another accessories catalog you could order from Hot Rod, or that was advertised in Hot Rod Magazine. And one more ad that we're going to catch here on the inside back cover. And it's kind of because we usually do try to catch this one. It's the tried and true, and this one is a full-size ad, J.C. Whitney ad. I don't know if there was a car magazine printed in the 50s or 60s that J.C. Whitney did not have an ad in it. It seems like every one of them was there. Get the new 1955 value-packed catalog now. Saves you up to 50% on automotive parts and accessories. So, plus, you got a free gift if you mail your coupon and 25 cents today. So, I doubt that's still valid, but obviously, J.C. Whitney ad, you always want to check them out. So, what do we got, Dan, here? Reading those how-to and before and after articles is to blame for him for getting into the collision repair business 40 years ago. So, well, it affected somebody. We know it affected Dan. What do we got on Facebook? Looking for the Hot Rod magazine that mentions a national record holder, Jack Thrashid from Ark City in 1955. Yeah, and I've got a few hot rods in that 55, 56 era. I just don't know which one we're looking for. So I'll kind of keep my eyes peeled, Brian. So where's the pinup girls in Hot Rod magazine? They didn't come out. They did do a pinup girl issue back in the 90s for several years. But I don't think they did one back in the 50s or 60s. But so I don't really those ones they did, I think, in the late 80s up into the 90s were the only ones where I think they did pin up issues of Hot Rod. So how about a few cool classified ads? And there's some doozies in here. There were some classifieds in here that just kind of blew my mind. We'll start off with the 1940 Ford Black Deluxe Coupe, Olds V8 power, rolled and pleated upholstery, U.S. Royal wide white walls, 15-inch wheels, radio, chrome grille and window frames, undercoated, $850 for a 40 Ford Coupe with Olds power and tuck and roll interior. So kind of bananas to think about today, but there's some good ones in this issue. So was really excited to bring these to you. Classic Ride Society. Remember when you had to call to get a catalog sent? Yep, I still remember that too, to where, instead of just looking stuff up online. Let's see, what else do we have in classifieds? Just like we talked about on the engine situation, engine swaps, overhead valves, wanted late model Chrysler engine, 52 to 54. Somebody's looking for one for their hot rods. What else do we have here for sale? Couple more cool ones are just really fine print, so I want to catch these other couple real quick for you because there was some of them that just kind of blew your mind. And some of them don't have prices as well, so that's the other thing that I wanted to make sure we wanted to talk about the prices on when I bring this stuff up, because that's just the crazy part about it. Here was one, complete 49 Merc stock engine with a 4-inch stroke and all accessories, running for $100. Here's one. Here was a good one that I definitely wanted to show you. 32 Ford Coupe, channeled, full race, 275 cubic inch Merc engine, $500. So 32 Ford for $500 in any condition, much less a channeled one with a hot Merc in it, is crazy to think about. Here's another one, 32 Ford Roadster, 54 Cat engine, chopped, channeled, chrome, pleated, and piped, $1,500. So, pretty cool stuff to think about. Just, it's bananas, but you got to remember it's $1955. It's a whole different animal. So, Glenn used to dream over the J.C. Whitney catalogs. Yeah. And that was something. There was a ton of that stuff on there, and tons of cool stuff too. So that's kind of what we had for classified ads in this issue of the 1955 Hot Rod Magazine. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch another one next week and check out some more cool stuff and look back in time at some of that stuff and kind of dream we could still get some of that stuff too. So anyway, trivia this week. Who's ready to play a little trivia? I'll keep an eye on both formats as usual, and I will take the first correct answer, and we'll see what we can get done. Obviously, like I said, depending on how the systems are feeding, I take the first correct answer I see. We are hardwired and live on YouTube and Facebook, so none of that stuff is, I'm not running Wi-Fi on anything. So hardwired in. Hopefully it'll be fair for everybody. Like Rico says, better start saving your Harbor Freight catalogs because they're gone too. So, and that's going to happen with everything. And it's going to happen with magazines is what I'm afraid of. I still like looking at car magazines, but I've got a feeling that that's all going to go by the wayside as well. So trivia, I'll keep an eye on both platforms, and the first correct answer I see, I'm going to send them a Aeroshell can. This is a cardboard can. It's got a couple dents in the sides of it. It is new, drained from the bottom. Still says, I think it says Aeroshell. Yeah, it says Aeroshell on top of it. And a pretty cool one. Even though it's a cardboard can, I really love these Aeroshell cans with the jets on them because they're a really nice display can. So tonight's trivia question, and like I said, keep an eye on the first correct answer on either format. One of the cars that I picked up this week, I did a live on location on a 1966 Buick Riviera. The car was disassembled and in a million pieces. But the question for the night's trivia is, what color was that car originally when it was brand new? So, because the owner had a really cool story about that car, and if you caught the video, it was really interesting to hear the whole story about the history of that car, clear back to the day it was brand new. So, keep an eye out for the correct answer on that, and we'll keep rolling, and we'll talk about the raffle. Jason got it already. So Jason's our winner on YouTube. It was dark metallic green. It was like a real deep, almost emerald green, they said. So Jason's our winner on that one. Give me a shout after we get done, Jason, and I will get your information and get this can on the way to you. So, yeah, there's a few people watched it because the right answers are pouring in. So appreciate you guys playing. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Really cool story. Unfortunately, the guy just didn't have the time and the desire to finish the car, and decided to punt on the project, even though his dad bought the car brand new before they were even released. The car, he said, he literally bought it out of the dealer's warehouse because they weren't even allowed to put him on the showroom floor for a couple of more days when his dad bought the car. Because obviously, we all, if anybody's familiar with those old Buicks, 66 was the first redesign of the Riviera. Obviously, the 63 came out, and 64 almost identical. They tweaked it a little bit for 65, and 66 was the first complete redesign of that car. And so it was a pretty big deal when it was released. And when his dad bought it, they said they didn't even want it around town for a couple of days because they technically, according to what Buick told them, it wasn't even, nobody was even supposed to see it yet. So appreciate everybody playing. Had several correct answers, but Jason was clearly the first one that popped up. And like I said, sometimes we fight the systems, but all I can go with was whatever I see first. So thanks for playing, everybody. The raffle this month, like we started off last week, got those right here. We'll look over them again so everybody can see them. I'll post individual pictures of them later on. Start off with one of the rougher ones, the Oldsmobile badge. This one is kind of one of the more chipped up ones, still has some color to it, but definitely shows its age. The Dodge Brothers, kind of the same way. You can still make out part of the blue on it, and you can definitely make out the star and where it says Dodge on it, but it's definitely one of the rougher ones. Another one, we'll work our way up to some of the better stuff. This is a really neat little Plymouth badge, but part of the ship is chipped on it. The Plymouth lettering is very clear against the blue background, but unfortunately the ship has a couple of chips in it. A badge off for Model A with a couple of chips in it, but very nice, brilliant, deep blue color on the oval Ford. And then we got a Ford. We got to have a Chevy in there for everybody. This is about a 29 to 31 era Chevy. A few chips across the top of it, but the bow tie and the lettering stands out very nicely. Very brilliant colors on this one as well. A Buick badge, a really nice little Buick badge. This is a smaller one, but nice colors on this one. Very few chips. Neat piece there. And this one's a little bit bigger, and this is a great one, a Triple Diamond International. So, just like last month, $1 a chance. You can PayPal me. You can send me a check or money order or cash, whatever you wanted to do. Just let me know. I've got the ones printed off that I've gotten so far. We'll run by that. I do have one. Craig likes the badge. Well, you could win them. So I'll get my PayPal address posted on there. You can always send it PayPal. $1 a chance. You send me $5, your name goes in the can, in the big Buick can 5 times. $10, you go in 10 times. That's the simplest way to do it. I've got one that I got in the mail that is not identified. So if you sent me something in the mail, you might check in with me. What I do have, these names are already in the big Buick can. I've already got the ones that we're going to go over are already printed. I've started putting some of them in there. So here's what I've got so far. If you think you have paid me and I don't read your name off, check in with me. I got Terry Hewlett's in. Lee Carr is in. Seth Russell and Greg Myers. I've got all you guys in the can as of right now. So we've got a couple more weeks on this one. I think April 3rd is a Sunday night, if I remember looking at the calendar correctly. On April 3rd, we will draw for the badges. I will get those sent to the winner, and we will start the new raffle on that same night. So CSE3@cox.net, cox.net is the email address on PayPal. I will add that to the post. I forgot to put that in the posts when I set these up. So I'll have that added on there as well, so you can check those out. And if you want to get in, somebody's going to win that whole badge collection starter kit, whatever you want to call it. So, but it's some cool stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, we check out a lot of badges on Toy Tuesday regularly. I've got hundreds of them. They're such a cool piece. They're such a neat glimpse back in time that you can hold in your hand, put up on your wall, put on your toolbox, and just great display pieces. So thought that would make a good raffle. Got a neat little collection. It's going to start somebody off right on that. So if I didn't read your name off and you've paid me, let me know, and we'll try to figure out where the discrepancy is at. Otherwise, got a couple more weeks for everybody to get in. We'll get your name in the big Buick can, and we'll draw. I think it's April 3rd is the night we're going to draw on that. So new inventory. Holy cow, this week was bananas. Last week we talked about the 49 Chevy pickup, 5-window custom cab that I picked up. I threw up a quick walk-around video on that Wednesday night. Before that, just where it was sitting before I loaded it. I'll get you a better one on it now that it's in. Weather here was absolutely atrocious this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, wind was 30, 40 miles an hour every day. It was the only decent day I had was Thursday, and that was when I had to go get that Riviera. Got back, got the Riviera unloaded, and then it started raining Friday, and it rained Friday, and it rained yesterday. So had very little opportunity to do any video this week. So I kind of worked with what I had. And then Friday night, if you guys caught it, I threw up the International. That was one that I picked up last week as well. But bought a ton of stuff. Since from last Sunday until now, I bought 14. Obviously, I don't have them all picked up, but I bought 14 more. I'll give you a quick rundown on some of those. Bruce just jumped on with us. Tim, the address, I'm going to have to post that. I typically try to put that in the memos, and I forgot to this time. So I'll go in and try to edit those and put my mailing address in there as well. If you're going to send me one in the mail, make sure you have your name and contact info in there to make sure that I know it's for the drawing. So I will, and that's my fault. I did not get that added in there. I will go in and try to edit both Facebook and YouTube with mailing address and PayPal address. Darren, I'll have to see what I've got left on D2 doors left. I've still got some, but I don't remember what I've got left that's very good. So, but anyway, what did I buy this week? I'll just run through the list as this stuff has come. As this stuff comes in, we'll talk about it a little more. So a few of these I've picked up, most of them I have not. 1956 Plymouth 4-door. I did drag that car in. International KB7, late 40s era KB7, 63 Chevy pickup, C10, long bed step side, 363 Chevy cars. Unfortunately, they're all 4-doors, 2 Bel Airs, 1 Impala. 39 Chevy pickup, half ton, 41 Chevy pickup, half ton, late 40s era KB1, which is pretty rough. Somebody cut part of the cab away on that truck. Complete 48 Dodge pickup. It's a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton, but it's all there, including stainless grill bars, which are super tough to find. A 52 Dodge 1.5-ton truck, just a chassis cab, no bed on it. This thing is super solid and super clean metal, and that's got that multi-piece grill in it. That's really hard to find. There's so many pieces to them. They're so easy to get bumped. This thing had a big grill guard added to it, so the grill on that truck is almost mint. That's a pretty neat old truck. 55 Chevy 1.5-ton, just the cab and the front clip. That was a Gulf oil delivery truck. It still has the Gulf orange ball on the doors. So that's a really cool truck. The 59 International 4x4, which I posted the video on the other day. The 66 Riviera, which we did the live on location. I'll get that car unloaded. I've got the car unloaded. I'll get all the parts unloaded out of it, laid out, and we'll take a better look at that car too. But that car was Like I said, he said it's a 401. I thought they were all 425s, but he overhauled it and said it is a 401. It's got an overhauled 401. It's got an overhauled tranny, buckets, console, floor shift, tilt column, tons of good parts there. So we'll get through that car a little bit better as I have time. My buddy Bill Twitchell jumped on with us. Glad you made it, Bill. Yeah, I do work crazy hours, Glenn. I try to be at the shop by 7 and try to be out of here by about 9:30 at night. So that's my typical day. So I do put in a lot of hours. But it's the only way to make sure it all gets done the right way. So, Drew, the 56 Ford F100, give me a shout on that if you're interested in it, because I'm going to start parting it out here fairly soon. If you're interested in that 56 F600, give me a shout, Drew. We'll see what we can work out on it and see what we can do there. Bruce, I'm going to update the post with the PayPal information as well. So that's my fault. I didn't get that on there, but I will get both posts edited as soon as we get off of here. So that PayPal and mailing info is on there. So the badges are cool. Obviously, you guys seem to like them. Everybody's been pretty excited about them. So we'll hope, like I said, so here in a couple of weeks, those are going to be on the way to somebody. But anyway, that's I think that's everything I bought this week. Holy cow, it's kind of bananas. And like I said, I've only picked a few of them up. I picked up the 56 Plymouth. I picked up the 39 Chevy half-ton pickup. And I picked up the 59 International. I picked up the Riviera. And I bought I bought a bunch of cool parts too. I did get another Fulton. I got a Fulton outside visor for a split windshield that came off of a 48 to 53 era GM truck. It's got some hail dings in it, but it is a complete visor. End brackets are real nice. The end brackets aren't broke. The tabs aren't broke off. Still has both of the little round Fulton Sunshade Company buttons on each end. Pretty decent visor. Picked up a factory grill guard for the same era 48 to 53 era Chevy truck. And I picked up another swamp cooler. I put a couple pictures of those on Facebook as well, but I think I'm going to keep the swamp cooler. It's too cool. It's got what's cool about the swamp cooler is it's got still got like an arrow sticker on that says Allstate on it. So it's I'm really excited about that. A bunch of questions popping up here. Let me catch these. Cruz, I'm not going to build the Riviera. I'll probably just end up parting it out unless somebody else wants it as a project car. There's no way I would have time to build it. I've already got a couple things that are being built, and that's just one that I couldn't do. Thanks, Glenn. And yeah, mad can be taken more than one way, and then some days I wonder which version of mad I am. So, thanks, Lance. There's be a lot of new inventory coming up. So yeah, we'll get some more of that posted as it comes. Definitely get videos on it as it comes. How do I come across these cars, Bruce? It's just all different. Both of these, actually all of this stuff come from 3 or 4 different places. They all contacted me on it. So, which is nice, but it's just wherever. The thing about it is when you find it, you got to, if it's worth buying, you got to buy it. I've picked up, 4 of these 14 vehicles, but I wrote checks for all of them. I paid for all of it when I bought it because, you can't go in there and tell them you're interested and not move on it. So I've written checks for all of it. So I've got to get some of it in because I've obviously spent a lot of money this week. So I got to start selling some more parts to cover all this stuff. But, it's hard to find it. And when you do find it, you got to snag it. So that's what I ended up doing. But obviously that's not the norm to stumble into that much stuff, in 1 week. But that's just kind of how it played out. So that's what I did. And there's some really neat stuff in there. There's some stuff that I haven't had in a really long time. There's the stainless grill bars for the 48 to 50 Dodge trucks. Don't know when the last time I had a set of those. That's a 3/4 ton. It's got the big bed, so it's got the big tailgate on it. The 55 Chevy 1.5 tons is rough. It's rusty. It's beat up. It's just the cab and the front clip. But it's so cool with the doors that say Gulf, I don't know, it was Gulf Butane or whatever, Gulf Tane delivery with the big orange Gulf balls on the side of it. So it's a really cool piece. Kevin, yes, I do still have the 46 Hudson sitting here. I have not done anything with it. That's another one kind of like the 56 F600. I'm going to have to start shuffling those to the back and probably start parting some of that stuff out. Just it's been sitting here a little while. I need to rearrange the stuff I've got up front. Both those cars are up front, or both those vehicles are up front since they're complete and intact. But I'm going to have to start shuffling some of that stuff around. But yeah, Kevin, if you're interested in that 46 Hudson, the complete car, or if you need some parts off of it, like I said, I'm to the point where I will consider parting that car out as well. Classic Ride Side has been looking for a swamp cooler too. I've got 2 of them now, and I'll probably keep them, to put on a few cars I've got. But this one, I was so excited about because it still had the Allstate sticker on it, and it was really, like I said, I got pictures of it on Facebook, and I'll try to get it into one of the videos as well, so you guys on YouTube can check it out. But swamp coolers are neat accessories to have. So anyway, new videos this week. Hopefully the weather's going to cooperate tomorrow. We'll go out and get some stuff, maybe some of this new inventory. Got a bunch of stuff in the new yard we still need to catch, so we'll try to catch some of that stuff as well. Plus Toy Tuesday, haven't even thought about that yet. But I'll get some more cool videos put together. We'll see what we can get going and see what we can get put together for next week. So that's pretty much about what I've got for tonight. Keep an eye on comments for a few more seconds here as we wrap up. Still got a pretty solid crowd on with us, and can't thank you guys enough for stopping by and hanging out. Kevin's on with us on Facebook. Thanks for being here, Kevin. Can't thank you guys enough for taking time out of your evening. I mean, this is your time, and you're choosing to hang out with me. So that's pretty cool. We've got a great group on here that we're having a ton of fun. Hopefully, we're going to be start to get out and do some stuff. Ark City Swap Meet, like we talked about, will be there. Planning for Rocky Mountain Race Week. That's getting really exciting. Hope to see some of you guys out there. By all means, if you're out at an event and you see me, be sure to stop and say hi. And hope to see some of you out on Race Week while we're out traveling. See you at some of the swap meets, car shows. We'll keep our fingers crossed that this year keeps moving forward like it is. And they're going to start opening some of this stuff up so we can get out and start doing what we love. So anybody else got anything? Keep an eye on stuff here just for a few more seconds. I will get the email address and the mailing address updated on both Facebook and YouTube on this post. I'll go in and edit the text for this exact post so you know where to find it. And as always, if you've ever got any questions, my numbers are on the pages and on the posts. So you can always give me a shout if you do have a question, and we can go over it and try to get things taken care of. So looks like that's about what we've got for tonight. Nothing new popping up unless the system isn't feeding me. But so far, it seems like everything's been rolling okay tonight. So a couple more things popping up. Craig, thanks for being here, Craig. You have a good night, too. I know it's late over there. Thanks for being here, Glenn. We'll go ahead and wrap up. Really appreciate everybody swinging by tonight. Had a great time with you. Like Rod says, let's talk cars. There isn't much better to do. That's what we're here for, and that's why we do it. We have a great time, and it happens because of you guys and your participation. The fact that you take time out of your evening, jump on with us, and engage and participate, we all learn something, and that's what's great about it. Be sure to check out the RPM Act. Look that up on SEMA.org, and be sure to sign that petition on there so we can keep doing this, keep doing what we love. As always, got specific questions about vehicles or parts, give me a call, 620-786-4428. That number is on the page, or pages, both the YouTube and the Facebook post. Be more than happy to talk about your project. But what I need to know, obviously, like I talk about on the videos, I need to know year, make, model, body style, direction you're going with your build. All that stuff is critical to me to know if I've got anything that can help you out. So thanks for the kind comments. I don't always catch all of them, but some nice ones popping up. And that's, and that's always encouraging. Makes me feel good that we're doing something good here if you guys are enjoying it, because that's the whole purpose. So thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate you coming by tonight, spending time with me. Stay tuned. More videos coming up. Toy Tuesday. I don't know if I'll be able to do it live or not. I've got some things I've got to do here middle of the week. I might be on the road a little bit. Terry still have not had time to mess with the hood on that Charger, so I still got to get to that as well. But so Toy Tuesday, I'm not 100% sure we'll be live. It may be pre-recorded. I'll see what my schedule looks like, but we'll definitely have some videos out there. We won't miss any of them, and we'll definitely have some content for Toy Tuesday as well. So stay tuned. Hope to see you guys this week on the videos, and be sure to jump back on with us next Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you back here with us. We'll have some more cool stuff to talk about. We'll definitely have some auction results, and if I get out on the road, maybe I'll find some more cool stuff to do some videos on this week. So thanks for watching, everybody. thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you back here same time, 7 o'clock Central on Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later.